Every piece needs a climax, but how do you make your climax feel extra special? That's what we're going to look at today in Dr. Doug's Daily Tips for how to write great LDS church music. Today we're looking at hymn 117, Come Unto Jesus. This is in B-flat major, and it has a particularly nice climax, which we start preparing for at the very beginning of the piece. So let's take a look. We start the melody with some pretty basic steps and some small leaps. And then we have this big leap. Okay, that's a really big leap of a sixth so early in the piece. And the big leaps continue. The next line, dun, 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 this big fourth, fainting, and then down a fourth, by sin oppressed. So these leaps are starting to become a thing in the tune. Kind of start over. Now we get a sort of a parallel leap of a sixth. The first time we had, this big leap from F up to D, and now we get another big leap, but it's a step higher. So let me back up to He'll Safely Guide You. Unto that haven. And he pauses on a tendency tone. Okay, so that's the really important thing I want to draw to your attention today, is that the fermata is on a dissonant note, and the climax is a dissonant note. What do I mean by dissonant notes? Well, in every key, in every major scale, we have the 7 notes of the scale. So in this key, we are in B-flat major. So there's the first scale degree, second scale degree, and on up the scale. That little caret, that little upside down triangle, it's like a upside down V, means scale degree. So in this key, we have the first scale degree is B flat, then C, then D, then E flat, F, G, A, B flat. Okay, this climax, as I mentioned, is on a dissonant note. The consonant notes, the notes that are not dissonant, are the first scale degree, third scale degree, fifth scale degree, and eighth scale degree. Those are the notes that belong to the one chord. None of those notes are dissonant. They all belong. However, the second scale degree, the fourth scale degree, the sixth scale degree, and the seventh scale degree, those are all dissonant because they want to resolve. Okay, the seventh scale degree wants to go up to the eighth scale degree. The sixth scale degree either wants to go down to the fifth scale degree or all the way up to the eighth scale degree, passing through the seventh one. The fourth scale degree usually wants to go down to the third scale degree because there's a half step there. The second scale degree often wants to go down to 1, but sometimes also goes up to 3. So at the beginning of this piece, that first big leap, he leaps up to the high third scale degree. But then he outdoes it by 1, and he goes to that high fourth scale degree. And he pauses. Okay? Now that pause is really important. It makes this climax all the more exciting because there's no possible way we could stop the piece on that note. We have to finish it. It has to resolve. We're in B flat. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. It wants to resolve. Okay, and then what does it resolve to? It resolves to that same D that it started with at the top. Excuse me, and it does the same big leaps twice in a row. First down to the F and then back up. But hanging on the fourth scale degree, that's a very strong note to pause the fermata on because our mind has to close the loop. We have to finish the story of the dissonance. The dissonance is a fourth scale degree. It has to resolve to a consonant tone, to the third scale degree. It's just like a favorite TV series. Whether you watch Stranger Things, or if you ever watched the show 24 with Jack Bauer, or any other number of TV shows or series that have, multiple episodes in them, how do they get you to come back to watch the next episode? They open a story loop, right? The episode begins with a big problem. They solve the problem, but then right before the episode ends, they introduce the next problem, and then the episode finishes. And you have to come back because your mind cannot stand the unresolved. We have to resolve the storyline. We have to come back. Okay? That's how they hook you to watch again and again and again. Music does the same thing, but we do it with the balance of dissonant notes versus consonant notes. And this big pause on the dissonant fourth scale degree at the height of the register for a congregation, it's just got to resolve. And then the rhythmic element, that it's paused on the high note, that the fermata is on the high fourth scale degree. It's just a great way to use a climax to have this very, what I call a pregnant pause. This pause, it's pregnant. It's ready to deliver the resolution. It's a great moment. And that's your composer gem for today. Find a way to make your climax so good that they can't stop listening. And here's the great example right here in Hymn 117. If you enjoyed this, hit subscribe, ring the bell so you get all the notifications of when all the other videos come to you. And if you liked these free tips, head over to latterdaymusiversity.com and grab a copy of my free 24-page report, The 10 Commandments of Writing Testimony-Building Warm, Fuzzy Music. Come back tomorrow, and we will continue the journey. See you then.